Hello everybody, it is I, Walter the Journey Ball, and it's been quite a while since the last video, and I just like to let you guys know that we have two videos, aside from this one, in the works right now. One of them is through the process of being edited, and one of them has been fully scripted but not filmed yet, so I just like to let you guys know that. But today we're talking about the top 10 SNES games. Now, the SNES is a great console, and I definitely have more nostalgia for it than the NES and other Nintendo systems. However, this console does have some stinkers, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how great some of the games are. So just know that there might not be some inclusions that you want, but all of the most popular games that are not on the top 10 list will be in the honorable mentions, because we know those are great games, but we either can't show them or sometimes don't think that they're good enough to be in the regular 10. So without further ado, let's get started with number 10. At number 10, we have Super Mario Kart. This game is the game that dominated all of the racing games back in the days of the SNES. And however, it doesn't hold up as well as the other Mario Kart games. But even though it was the first, this adds so much to the racing genre. And it basically kicked off the entire revolution of multiplayer kart racers. This is overall a great game, and you can still and you can still squeeze some fun playable moments out of it. It's hard to play, the drifting could use a lot of work, and there are some annoying stages, but this works great for multiplayer. It's fun, and it's charming to see where this famous series all started. At number 9, we have Kirby's Dream Course. Now this game, while ridiculously difficult to master, is so fun and creative. You have the ability to use powers, control your direction, speed, height, angle, and so much more. It's incredibly fun in multiplayer as well, offering a fun friendship-breaking challenge. This game is expansive and large as well, with about 64 levels, each with their own set of enemies, design, mechanics introduced, and strategy to not only win, but get the high score too. This game feels amazing and satisfying as heck once you finally master it, and I recommend that you definitely play this in multiplayer. Now, for single player, it's still a fun time if you have the rewind feature, but for multiplayer, it's unmatched on the SNES. And guess what? I sank more time into this than any other SNES game on Nintendo Switch Online. No joke. At number 8, we have a critically acclaimed game. That being Super Metroid. This game is like its past predecessors, but everything has been polished to an unbelievable level and updated to fit the SNES. There are also a ton of new things to explore and unlock. It's still kind of difficult as well as cryptic, but it's easier to do everything in general. This game introduces many staple Metroid mechanics, and while I am still not a Metroid fan, this game was impressive and very well designed at the time, and to this day. Coming in at number 7, we have Star Fox. While this is incredibly short and garbage looking by today's standards, this game was revolutionary beyond belief at the time, being one of very few games in the era to try full-on 3D with polygons. Couple that with intriguing gameplay, a solid frame rate considering the hardware, and well-designed levels that hide so many fun secrets and challenges, and it adds up to a great, unique on-rail shooter that provides lots of content for such a bare-bones completion time, averaging around 50 minutes. But this game provides a fun, arcadey, high-score-based challenge that is unmatched on the SNES. Coming in at number 6, we have Pilotwings. While this is not a perfect game, it's a great flight simulator that used the Mode 7 chip of the SNES to its advantage. Great music, controls, and gameplay. Not much to say about Pilotwings, as it was one of many amazing launch titles for the Super Nintendo. Interestingly, both Pilotwings 64 and Resort, both of the sequels in the series, were launch titles for their respective systems as well. So I guess you could say they wanted to launch this game like a plane? Sorry. Coming in at number 5, we have Super Punch-Out. Now this game is full of character, as you battle through tons of unique bosses in a rewarding and unique combat system, which uses strategy to its advantage. It may not be as wholly challenging as the NES original, which I beat. I know, I am a gaming legend. I know. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. But this provides a challenge based on your combat skill strategy. I know. Crazy, right? Instead of cheap bosses and pattern memorization, the great graphics really bolden this game, which is focused a lot on your strategy and timing instead of just being hard for the sake of hard. This really boldens the character hiding beneath each beautifully crafted gameplay segment, with the artistry and passion of everyone involved in this game seeping through the wonderful, lovable, and hateable characters, the great combat, and the truly unmatched unique presentation. Coming in at number 4, we have a very special game that is beloved by fans, and that is Kirby Superstar. This game is really great. It's a bit on the short side when you consider just the minigames individually, but it's full of different minigames and things to do in them, so it's not very easy to get bored. There are 6 stories to play on and 2 minigames to go with it. This game also introduced abilities and other stuff that's completely new, such as the use of allies or new copy abilities like the fighter, wing, or plasma. There are so many different things you can do in this game that it'll take you a while to put this one down. With impeccable graphics and amazing design for the time, and a great deal for the time, this is a Kirby game that surely everyone should experience. Coming in at a high number 3, we have Yoshis Island. This one is tons of fun. Despite being called Super Mario World 2, this plays very differently than the traditional Mario games, which is in a good way, because you play as Yoshi in a game full of personality, with its unique art style, clever gameplay, and a very cute feel to it. This game gives Yoshi the core abilities that he never had in Super Mario World, such as the ground pound and the flutter. This game is pretty easy sometimes, but it offers a great challenge. And it's definitely not short, but this game will probably make you smile at least once, or you have no soul. This game offers so much with its beautiful graphics, amazing music, and unique style in every corner. You can't go wrong with this mostly easy, yet fun and great game with tons of collectibles and ability and great level design. Just turn the volume off when you lose Baby Mario because Coming in at number 2, we have another launch title for the system, Super Mario World. Now, I first played this game with a keyboard online, so I assumed that it sucked. Then I tortured myself by playing it with a GameCube controller on the Wii, and I assumed that it sucked. Then I played it on the NSO, and holy baloney! This game not only was a launch title, but it also refined everything people thought was great about Mario, creating a game with tons to discover, great design, infinitely replayable stages, amazing graphics, cool secrets, and sublime music, as well as changing things up like the gameplay is so much different than the past Mario games, but it still retains that same charm and fun. Because of all these new mechanics, this really shows how variety can make a game better. Tons of different levels, stages, worlds, whatever you want to call them. Tons of new enemies and mechanics like Yoshi, the Dragon Coins, and many new power-ups like the Cape add up to an experience that is a system seller for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, before we get to number 1, we'd like to go over some of our honorable mentions. Now, we have Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, and Mega Man X as obvious picks. And believe me, these would have all been on the top 10. They wouldn't have been honorable mentions, but we sadly could not include them because they're not on Nintendo Switch Online. But just know we acknowledge these games are great, and they would be on our top 10 list if we had the chance to put them there. We also have F-Zero here, which, surprise, surprise, was another launch title for the system, and it's a great racing game, wicked difficult, wicked fast. And while it has no multiplayer, which is kind of a bummer, it kickstarted a famous Nintendo series that is great and fun to this day. We also have Tetris Attack, a really fun game that, don't be fooled, it's not Tetris. I'm not a huge fan of Tetris as far as puzzle games go. This is kind of more like Columns or Dr. Mario. Great game. And we also have Final Fight, which is basically the equivalent of Streets of Rage, and I hear it's really good, but I personally have never played it. Alright, well, I guess we gotta get into number 1 now. Now, at number 1, we have, and this might not be a surprise to you, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This game was the first 16-bit Zelda game, and it was a refreshing return to the series' roots after the tragedy that was Zelda 2. Nah, just kidding. This introduced many things that we may take for advantage now, but you have to consider that this was only the 3rd game in the franchise. This game had many different dungeons, setups, with a 2 worlds mechanic that gave you tons to do. Nothing ever feels ridiculous, cryptic, or stupid, because this game is absolutely incredible. This game has calming melodies in the more peaceful towns, in which peace is only incrementally obtained, rather than being too minuscule or too over the top. Whereas dungeons suck your hope away from you, but you slowly regain it by discovering things without any ridiculous hand-holding. I'm looking at you, Skyward Sword. You slowly build up your arsenal against the monstrous Ganon, who towers over you as if Hyrule has lost any chance of redemption. Despite all this, you pull through, and you feel amazing, defeating all of your ambition against that little nagging desire to win in the back of your head. This game really revolutionized not only Zelda games, but video games as a whole, because this game has so many updated things. The gameplay, the weapons, the mechanics, the dungeons, the bosses, everything was made so much better. Now you can actually find your way through Hyrule and the Dark World without a walkthrough. This game also adds so many new things like the Dark World, new items like the hookshot and Pegasus boots, and everything is just so polished, clean, and looks so nice with great music. This game also has a great difficulty, so trying to solve the dungeons and puzzles will make you think without frustrating you. The game really makes the Zelda games better for everyone. Well, thank you guys for watching. That was our top 10 list of the SNES games. My friend helped work on this. And yeah, thank him very much. And thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment other videos you'd like to see, blah, blah, blah. Be safe, everybody. Goodbye.